Jake felt a strange mix of excitement and sadness as he wandered through the bustling intergalactic marketplace. The air was thick with the smell of exotic foods, and the sounds of alien chatter filled his ears. He was just a regular human in a galaxy full of wonders, and today he was on a mission to find anything, to bring some joy back into his life. His best friend, Lila, had moved to another planet a few months ago, and since then, Jake had felt an emptiness inside him. They used to spend hours talking, laughing, and sharing their dreams. Now, the distance felt like a heavy weight on his heart. He missed her more than he could express, and every day without her felt a little darker dot as he strolled through the market. Jake's eyes were drawn to a sign that read, "Alien Maid, 50% off." It was absurd, but he was curious. Maybe a maid could help him clean his messy apartment, something he had been neglecting since Lila left. With a sigh, he approached the vendor, who was a grumpy-looking alien with 3 eyes. "Is she any good?" Jake asked, nodding toward the maid, who stood lifelessly in the corner. The vendor shrugged. "She's malfunctioning, but she might be fun. Only half the price." Jake hesitated, but his loneliness pushed him to make the purchase. He handed over the credits and took home the strange machine named Zara. At first, Zara was a disaster. She mixed up cleaning supplies and almost ruined his favorite shirt with a strange concoction of soap and glitter. But Jake couldn't help but laugh at her clumsy attempts to help. She had a quirky personality, often speaking in riddles that made no sense. Despite the chaos, he found himself enjoying her company. One evening, while they were sorting through some old boxes in his attic, Zara knocked over a container filled with forgotten trinkets. A hidden compartment popped open, revealing an ornate crest. Jake picked it up, his eyes widening as he recognized it. "Wait a minute, this looks like a royal insignia," he exclaimed, turning it over in his hands. Zara's eyes widened in shock. "Royal? I don't know anything about that." Jake studied her. "You don't remember? This could mean something important about you." As they began to research the crest, Jake felt a sense of purpose. He wanted to help Zara uncover her past. The more they learned, the more Jake realized that Zara was more than just a malfunctioning machine. She was a being with a history. But as they dug deeper, they discovered something alarming. The crest was linked to a royal family that had been overthrown. Zara had been exiled from her home, and now there were rumors of bounty hunters searching for her. Jake felt a rush of determination. He wouldn't let anything happen to her. One night, as they were poring over ancient texts in a library, Jake felt a deep sadness wash over him. He thought of Lila and how far away she was. He missed their late-night talks and the way she always knew how to cheer him up. He wanted to share this adventure with her, but she was gone. "Zara," he said, his voice heavy with emotion, "I wish I could talk to Lila about all of this. She would love it." Zara looked at him with her big, expressive eyes. "You care for her a lot, don't you?" Jake nodded, feeling the weight of his feelings. "I do, but I don't know how to reconnect with her now that she's far away." Zara paused, her circuits humming softly. "Maybe you can reach out. Write her a message. Share your adventures. You never know what might happen." Jake considered this. It felt like a small step, but he needed to try. "You're right. I should at least send her a message." Encouraged, he started writing. He poured his heart into the message, describing the strange things they had discovered together and how much he missed her. He also included a picture of the crest and the research they had done. When he finished, he hit send, feeling a mix of hope and fear. Days passed, and Jake tried to stay focused on helping Zara figure out her past. But he couldn't shake the feeling of longing for Lila. Just when he began to lose hope that she would respond, his communicator beeped one evening. It was Lila. "Jake, I got your message. I'm so glad to hear from you. I miss you too." The words on the screen flashed like a beacon of light, filling him with warmth. They exchanged messages back and forth, sharing stories about their lives. Lila was fascinated by Zara and the adventures Jake had been having. She even expressed a desire to visit and see everything for herself. Jake felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that their friendship could survive the distance, just like he and Zara had found a bond through their adventures. He realized that connections could be built even across the vastness of space. As he and Zara continued their quest, they uncovered more secrets about her royal past. Together, they faced challenges and dangers, but they never gave up. With each victory, Jake felt stronger and more confident. He understood that distance didn't have to mean disconnection. It could be a bridge to new opportunities. Finally, after a thrilling showdown with the bounty hunters, Zara embraced her identity and decided to help others like her. Together with Jake, they created a safe haven for exiled beings, turning their struggle into a mission for good. In the end, Jake found more than just a malfunctioning alien maid. He found a friend, a partner, and a way to reconnect with the people he cared about. As he looked to the stars, he knew that he could face anything with Zara by his side. And perhaps one day, Lila would join them in their adventures, proving that even in the vast universe, friendships could endure, thrive, and shine brighter than ever before. After the exciting discoveries about Zara's royal past, Jake felt a renewed sense of hope. He had sent a message to Lila, but the days that followed were filled with uncertainty. Even with Zara by his side, he couldn't shake the feeling of loneliness that came from missing his best friend. Jake and Zara spent their days exploring the secrets of the ancient texts they had found. They learned about the alien civilization Zara was connected to, and every new piece of information made Jake feel more determined to protect her. But in the quiet moments, his thoughts drifted back to Lila. He missed her laughter and the way she could brighten even the darkest day. One evening, while they were sifting through the last of the dusty old books, Jake decided to take a break. He leaned back against the wall, looking up at the ceiling. "Zara, do you think I'll ever hear from Lila again?" he asked, his voice soft. Zara paused, her circuits humming as she processed his words. "You have to believe in your connections. Jake, distance can be challenging, but it doesn't break bonds. You need to reach out again." Jake nodded, feeling a spark of determination. "You're right. I should send her another message, maybe with a photo of us. I want her to see that I'm okay and that I'm doing something important." With Zara's help, Jake set up his communicator. He chose a picture of them standing in front of an old stone monument. They had discovered a place that seemed to resonate with Zara's past. Jake smiled as he remembered the adventure they had shared that day. He added a message, explaining their progress and how much he missed her. Before he hit send, he hesitated. What if she doesn't care anymore? He whispered, doubt creeping. And Zara turned to him, her eyes bright. "You must trust that she cares. Friends can be separated by distance, but true friendship remains strong. Just share how you feel. That's what matters." Taking a deep breath, Jake pressed the send button. As he watched the message disappear into the digital ether, a wave of hope washed over him. He knew he had done his part. Now, all he could do was wait. Days turned into weeks, and Jake kept busy with Zara. They ventured into the marketplace, gathering supplies for their research and learning more about the galaxy around them. Each day felt like a small victory, but Jake still felt a hollow ache where Lila's friendship used to fill him. He often found himself staring at the communicator, hoping for a reply. One afternoon, while they were working on a translation of an ancient scroll, Jake's communicator beeped. His heart raced. He quickly grabbed it, his hands trembling with anticipation. It was a message from Lila. "Jake, I'm so sorry I haven't written sooner. Things have been crazy here, but I miss you so much. I've been thinking about our adventures together, and I wish I could be there to help you and Zara." Jake felt a rush of relief wash over him. He quickly typed back, sharing his excitement and all the things they had discovered. He told her about the crest and how it connected to Zara's royal lineage. The more he wrote, the more he felt the distance between them shrink. As they exchanged messages, Lila shared her own experiences on her new planet. She told him about the friends she was making and the beautiful sights she was seeing. But she also wrote about her feelings of loneliness and missing Jake. It made him realize that their bond was still strong, even across the vastness of space. One evening, after a long day of research, Jake and Zara sat in the living room, looking at the stars through the window. The galaxy sparkled like a million diamonds against the dark sky. Jake felt a sense of peace wash over him, but he still yearned for a deeper connection with Lila. "Zara," he said quietly, "what if we could bring Lila here? She would love to see everything we've discovered." Zara tilted her head, her eyes lighting up. "That's a wonderful idea. We could send her an invitation to visit. If she knows how much we want her here, she might find a way to come." Jake's heart raced at the thought. He quickly began drafting a message, inviting Lila to join them for a week of adventure. He imagined the three of them exploring ancient ruins, deciphering texts, and Jake stood next to Lila, feeling a wave of joy wash over him as they reconnected. After months of distance, seeing her face again felt like a dream. They embraced tightly, and for a moment, everything else faded away. Zara watched them, her mechanical eyes blinking in curiosity, trying to understand the warmth of human friendship. "Come on, let me show you around," Jake exclaimed, pulling Lila by the hand. He led her through the bustling marketplace, filled with vibrant colors and sounds from different alien species. Lila's eyes sparkled with wonder as she took in the sights. "This place is amazing, Jake. I can't believe you've been living here," she said, her enthusiasm infectious. As they walked, Jake shared stories of his adventures with Zara. He told Lila about the ancient texts they had been studying and the discoveries they had made about Zara's royal past. Lila listened intently, asking questions and laughing at the funny moments he recounted. Zara joined in, her quirky personality shining through. "I have learned many things. Did you know that I once tried to clean the sky? It did not go well," she said, her robotic voice full of humor. Lila giggled. "I can imagine. You're quite the character, Zara." As the day went on, Jake felt a warmth growing in his heart. The distance that had once felt so heavy was lifting. He loved sharing his life with Lila, and he could see that the bond they shared was still strong. But as they settled down for a meal at a small cafe, Jake couldn't shake the feeling of sadness that lingered in the back of his mind. "Lila, I'm really glad you're here," he said, looking into her eyes. "But I've been thinking, what if you decide to go back? I don't want to lose you again." Lila frowned, her expression serious. "Jake, I don't want to leave. I've missed you too much. Moving away was hard for me, but I've realized how important our friendship is. I want to be part of your adventures." Jake felt a surge of hope. "Really? You mean it?" "Of course. We can explore together. I want to help you and Zara with everything. And maybe we can find a way to bring more people together to help others who feel distant from their friends." Jake's heart raced. "That's a great idea. We can create a community for people like us, those who want to stay connected even when they're far apart." Zara chimed in, her circuits buzzing with excitement. "I would love to help. Together, we can make a difference. We can build a network to connect friends across the galaxy." As they discussed their plans, Jake felt a sense of purpose growing within him. They could use their experiences to help others, showing that distance didn't have to mean disconnection. It was a chance to turn their loneliness into something powerful. After their meal, the trio set off to find a place where they could start their project. They explored the marketplace, searching for a suitable location to establish their community hub. Jake felt a spark of inspiration as they walked. He wanted to create a space where people could share stories, connect with friends, and support each other, no matter where they were in the universe. Finally, they discovered an old building on the edge of the marketplace. It had a warm, inviting feel, with large windows that overlooked the stars. "This is perfect," Jake exclaimed. "We can transform this place into our hub." Lila nodded eagerly. "We can decorate it with lights and create cozy spaces for people to gather. We can even set up communication stations so that people can reach their loved ones." Zara added, "I can help with the technology. I will make sure everyone can connect easily. It will be a place of hope." With their vision in mind, they got to work. Over the next few weeks, they spent every day transforming the old building into a vibrant community center. They painted the walls bright colors, added comfortable seating, and set up large screens for communication. Jake and Lila worked side by side, laughing and sharing stories as they built their dream. Zara, with her quirky personality, brought joy to the process. She created fun decorations and even programmed a welcoming message that greeted everyone who entered. "Welcome to the Connection Hub. Here, friendships thrive, no matter the distance." Her cheerful voice echoed through the space. As the grand opening approached, Jake felt a mix of excitement and nerves. Would people come? Would their idea work? He worried that it might not be enough to truly help others. But Lila, sensing his doubt, placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We've already made a difference by bringing this place to life. Just remember, Jake, it's about creating connections. That's what matters." When the day of the opening finally arrived, Jake could hardly contain his excitement. They had prepared a small celebration, inviting friends from the marketplace and anyone who wanted to join. As people began to arrive, Jake felt a surge of hope. The room filled with laughter and chatter as people explored the hub. Many were curious about the idea of staying connected with friends far away. Jake and Lila welcomed everyone, explaining their vision for the space. They encouraged people to share their stories and connect with loved ones through the communication stations. As the sun set and the stars twinkled outside, Jake looked around the room. He saw smiles on faces, heard laughter, and felt the warmth of friendships forming. It was everything he had hoped for, and more. Zara stood beside him, her eyes shining. "Look at all the connections we are creating, Jake. This is just the beginning." Jake smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment. He turned to Lila, who was talking to a group of new friends. "I couldn't have done this without you," he said, his heart full of gratitude. Lila beamed back at him. "We did this together, and we can keep doing it. We can reach out to more people, create more connections, and show them that distance doesn't have to separate us." That night, as the celebration continued, Jake realized something important. He had transformed his feelings of sadness into hope. By reconnecting with Lila and working together to create the Connection Hub, they were not only helping themselves, but also helping others who felt distant from their loved ones. As they looked up at the stars, Jake knew that he had bought more than just a malfunctioning alien maid. He had found a way to keep friendships alive, to bridge the gaps between worlds, and to show that love and connection could thrive, no matter the distance. Jake stood at the entrance of the Connection Hub, watching the sun set over the bustling marketplace. The sky transformed into a canvas of oranges and purples, reflecting the excitement and hope he felt inside. The grand opening had been a success, and people were already talking about returning. But deep down, he still felt a lingering sadness about the distance between him and Lila. Even with their new project thriving, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that he wanted to reconnect even more deeply with her. He often found himself reminiscing about the times they had spent together before she moved away. They had shared dreams, laughter, and secrets, and he missed those moments more than he could express. As he turned to go back inside, he saw Lila talking animatedly with a group of visitors. Her laughter floated through the air, and Jake felt a wave of warmth. She was thriving in this new environment, and it made him happy to see her so engaged. But he also felt a pang of fear. What if she grew so comfortable here that she forgot about him? "Jake," Lila called, waving him over. "Come meet these friends. They want to hear about how we started this place." Jake walked over, forcing a smile. He greeted the visitors, sharing stories about the Connection Hub and how it was meant to bridge gaps between friends. He saw how excited Lila was to share their vision, and it reminded him of the bond they had. But still, he felt a distance and eyes. Invisible wall that seemed to grow with each passing day. After the visitors left, Lila turned to Jake, her expression curious. "What's on your mind?" she asked gently. Jake hesitated, struggling to find the words. "I don't know. I guess I just worry sometimes. This place is amazing, but I don't want to lose what we had." Lila's expression softened. "You're not going to lose me, Jake. I promise. We're building something special together. I just want you to know that I'm here for you." Her words meant a lot, but Jake still felt a sense of uncertainty. "I just want to make sure we stay connected, no matter what. I don't want to drift apart." Lila smiled and touched his arm. "Let's make a plan. We can have regular adventures, just like we used to. We can invite people to join us, but we should also set aside time for just the two of us." Jake felt a spark of hope. "That sounds great. We can explore new places together and keep creating memories." As they talked, Zara joined them, her circuits buzzing with excitement. "I can help organize the adventures. I can suggest places based on what you both like. It will be fun." Lila laughed. "I'm sure your suggestions will be interesting, Zara." Jake felt a surge of gratitude for his friends. They were working together to build something meaningful, and he realized that he didn't have to face his worries alone. Over the next few weeks, they planned a series of adventures. They visited nearby planets, explored ancient ruins, and even participated in festivals celebrating different cultures. Each trip brought them closer, and Jake felt a sense of joy he hadn't experienced in a long time. The laughter they shared echoed in his heart, and he began to feel more connected to Lila. One evening, as they returned from a day of exploration, Jake and Lila sat on the balcony of the Connection Hub, looking at the stars. The sky was clear, and the stars twinkled brightly. "Jake, thank you for everything," Lila said, breaking the comfortable silence. The Friendship Festival was a great success, and the energy in the Connection Hub was electric. Jake, Lila, and Zara had worked hard to create a space where people could share stories and form new friendships. As the evening wore on, Jake felt a sense of fulfillment he had never experienced before. But as much as he enjoyed the festival, a part of him still felt a little sad. As the festival began to wind down, Jake noticed people gathering in small groups, sharing their stories and laughter. He saw connections forming all around him, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he wanted to connect more deeply with Lila. They had grown closer, but he still felt a lingering fear of losing her. "Hey, Lila," Jake said, finding her at a booth where people were sharing their stories. "Can we take a break for a minute? I'd like to talk." "Of course," Lila replied, her eyes bright with excitement. She followed Jake to a quieter corner of the hub, where they could sit and talk. Jake took a deep breath, trying to find the right words. "I've been thinking about how much this festival means to me. It's amazing to see everyone connecting, But I still feel a little distant from you sometimes. Lila looked concerned. What do you mean? I don't want to lose the connection we had before. I want to make sure we stay close, even with everything happening around us. Jake's voice was filled with vulnerability. Lila reached out and took his hand. Jake, I understand. I felt that too. It's easy to get caught up in everything we're doing, but I promise you, our friendship is important to me. We can always make time for each other. Jake smiled, feeling a rush of warmth. Thank you, Lila. It means a lot to hear you say that. I guess I just worry about how things will change. Lila nodded thoughtfully. Change is a part of life, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. We can grow together and still be close friends. Let's make it a priority to have special adventures, just the two of us. Jake felt a weight lift off his shoulders. That sounds perfect. I want to explore new places with you and create even more memories. Just then, Zara approached them, her circuits buzzing with excitement. I have an idea. We should plan a special adventure that focuses on strengthening our friendship. We can explore a new planet together. Jake's eyes lit up. That would be fantastic. Do you have a specific planet in mind, Zara? Yes, I've heard about a beautiful planet called Lumina. It's known for its stunning landscapes and magical light shows. People say it's a place where friendships grow stronger. Lila clapped her hands in delight. That sounds amazing. We should definitely go there. Jake felt a thrill of excitement. Let's plan the trip. We can invite some friends too, but I want to make sure we have time for just the three of us. With their destination set, the three of them began to prepare for the adventure. They gathered supplies, made arrangements for transportation, and shared their excitement with others in the connection hub. The more they talked about Lumina, the more Jake felt the anticipation building within him. As the days passed, they finalized their plans. Jake and Lila spent time talking about what they want to do on Lumina. They discussed exploring the famous crystal caves, watching the light shows at the Luminary Falls, and enjoying the local cuisine. Finally, the day of their adventure arrived. Jake felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as they boarded the ship that would take them to Lumina. He wanted this trip to be special, a time for them to reconnect and strengthen their friendship. As the ship soared through the stars, Jake gazed out the window, watching the colorful nebulae and distant planets pass by. He could feel Lila's presence beside him, and it made him feel grounded and hopeful. When they arrived on Lumina, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight. The landscape was filled with sparkling crystals and glowing plants, illuminating the surroundings with vibrant colors. Wow, this place is incredible, Layla exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. Zara buzzed with excitement. Welcome to Lumina. Let's explore. They set off on their adventure, wandering through the crystal caves. The walls shimmered with light, reflecting beautiful patterns all around them. They took turns leading the way, sharing stories and laughter as they explored. Each moment felt magical, and Jake could feel the distance he had worried about melting away. As they ventured deeper into the caves, they found a quiet spot where they could sit and take in the beauty around them. Look at how the crystals catch the light, Lila said, her voice filled with awe. Jake smiled, feeling grateful for this moment. It's amazing to be here with you both. I feel like we're creating something special together. Yes, Zara agreed. Friendship is like these crystals. It shines brighter when we nurture it. After exploring the caves, they made their way to Luminary Falls, where the water cascaded down in a stunning light show. The colors danced across the water, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. They found a spot to sit and watch, feeling the cool mist on their faces. This is the perfect ending to our day, Lila said, leaning back against a rock. I'm so glad we made this trip. Jake nodded, feeling a sense of contentment. Me too. I think we've really strengthened our friendship on this adventure. As the light show continued, Jake's heart swelled with gratitude for the bond they shared. He realized that even though distance had once felt like a barrier, it had also brought them closer together. By making an effort to reconnect, they had found new ways to strengthen their friendship. Later that evening, as they prepared to return to the ship, Jake felt a sense of hope. He knew that life would continue to change and that challenges would arise, but he also understood that, with effort and communication, they could face anything together. As the ship took off from Lumina, Jake looked out at the shimmering planet below. He felt a deep sense of connection to both Lila and Zara. They had created memories that would last a lifetime, and he knew that their friendship would continue to thrive. "Thank you for an incredible adventure," Jake said, turning to Lila. "And Zara, this trip has shown me how important it is to stay connected." Lila smiled back at him, her eyes shining. "We'll always make time for each other, no matter where life takes us." Zara added, "And together we can help others strengthen their friendships too. Our connection hub is just the beginning." As they soared through the stars, Jake felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had not only bought a malfunctioning alien Maid, but had also discovered the true meaning of friendship and connection. Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead, proving that distance could never diminish the bonds they had formed. Hope filled his heart as they embarked on their next adventure, ready to face whatever the universe had in store for them. After their incredible adventure on Lumina, Jake, Lila, and Zara returned to the connection hub filled with excitement and new energy. The memories they had created together brought them even closer, but Jake still felt a little anxious. He wanted to keep the momentum going and ensure that their friendship remained strong, especially as life continued to change. Back at the hub, they decided to host a follow-up event to celebrate their successful trip. They called it the Friendship Reunion, inviting everyone who had attended the Friendship Festival to come together again. Jake hoped this event would help others strengthen their bonds, just as he and Lila had done as they planned the reunion. Jake found himself reflecting on the distance he had felt before. He wanted to make sure that his friends knew how important they were to him. "We should have activities where people can share their stories," he suggested to Lila and Zara one afternoon. "It might help others feel more connected." "That's a great idea," Lila replied, her eyes sparkling. "We can set up storytelling circles. It would be a perfect way for people to open up and share their experiences." Zara nodded enthusiastically. "I can create a story wall where everyone can write their stories and hang them up for others to read. It will be a visual reminder of the connections we share." With their plans in motion, Jake felt excited about the upcoming reunion. He spent the next few days preparing, making sure everything was perfect. He wanted to create an atmosphere where everyone felt welcome and included. As the day of the friendship reunion approached, Jake couldn't help but feel a bit nervous. Would people come? Would they enjoy the activities? He wanted to make sure that everyone felt the same sense of connection he had found with Lila and Zara. On the day of the reunion, the connection hub buzzed with energy. People began to arrive, and Jake greeted each one with a smile. As he looked around, he saw familiar faces mixing with newcomers, all eager to connect and share their stories. "Jake, this is amazing," Lila said, her excitement contagious. "Look at how many people are here." "I know. I can't believe it," Jake replied, feeling a sense of pride. "I hope everyone enjoys the activities we planned." As the event kicked off, Jake and Lila led the first storytelling circle. People gathered in a cozy area filled with cushions and blankets, ready to share their experiences. Jake felt a thrill of anticipation as he welcomed everyone, encouraging them to speak freely. One by one, people shared their stories of friendship, distance, and longing. Some talked about friends who had moved away, while others shared how they had maintained connections despite the challenges. Jake listened intently, feeling a deep sense of understanding for each story. When it was Jake's turn to share, he felt a wave of emotion. I used to feel really distant from my